Hi everyone, my name is Sarah, and today we're going to be walking through a video of our platform here at Fleetio. If you want to see a further in-depth walkthrough, feel free to go to fleetio.com/demo for a custom walkthrough with one of our sales reps. So make yourself a cup of coffee and come with me.
The first thing that we see when we dive into Fleetio is the dashboard. This is where I can see the most important data to me and is where I can start my day with a piping hot cup of coffee. One of the great capabilities that the dashboard has is its customization. You're able to have your own dashboard for your consumption or a dashboard that you can share with others within your organization. The different tiles that you see on this page are called widgets, which provide at-a-glance data along with quick links for you to easily access related Fleetio modules. You can easily move widgets around or add new widgets onto the dashboard. I also want to highlight the ability to filter between groups. Groups are designed to help you organize your vehicles, equipment, and contacts and manage permissions accordingly. You can create groups around however your company is organized. This might be for different geographic areas, company departments, or cost centers. Now let's turn to focus on where our individual vehicles or assets live in Fleetio. Getting your vehicles into Fleetio is super easy. You can add vehicles either individually or add multiple vehicles at a time. You can do this by using our Add Multiple Vehicles section, where you will add in the name, VIN number, and the group of the vehicle. You can see a few examples laid out here. You also have the ability to import from a CSV file if you're more accustomed to keeping your assets in a spreadsheet. Now, I'm using the word vehicle here, but this could be an over-the-road vehicle, a trailer, bulldozer, forklift, any asset that needs cost or maintenance tracking. Now let's take a look at my vehicles that I have in Fleetio. Here I have a 10,000-foot view of all my vehicles that are in Fleetio. I can easily see the make and model, what type of asset that it is, what group this vehicle belongs to, and what the meter reading is. I can also adjust these columns to easily surface information that I'm typically looking for. For example, if I wanted to see which operator is currently assigned to an asset, I could scroll down and add an operator column. And I can move this up so that it shows up a little further to the left of the columns here. I'm also able to use the filters. I can use these filters to only see vehicles with certain attributes. So let's say I want to see all the vehicles that are in Birmingham. I can see those here now. And I can also filter the vehicle status to only see vehicles that are out of service. So let's remove these filters really quick. And now let's dive into one of these vehicles individually. This is my central source of information for this single asset and gives me all the information I would need to know about it in terms of cost, service history, and documents. I have all the key details about this vehicle in terms of specs that my shop may need to know. And I also can track all of my crucial documents that pertain to this vehicle right in the vehicle dashboard. Another important aspect to this is the dynamic tracking of all my maintenance. I'm able to see my service history in Fleetio, so all the instances that my vehicle went into the shop with the costs that are included. I can see all the inspections that were done for this vehicle. I can see my fuel history and all of the fuel entries that have been logged for this vehicle. And we do have fuel card integrations that can streamline this to make it even easier for you to track fuel costs on your vehicle. And I can also see all my preventative maintenance service reminders for this vehicle and the service items that I need to do to keep this vehicle healthy. One of the great features of Fleetio is that I'm able to import the recommended service schedule into Fleetio. So for this truck in particular, if I go into maintenance here, this will allow me to pull in the OEM recommended schedule into Fleetio that the manufacturer recommends. You can see here that all your costs for this vehicle are tracked within this vehicles page. To take it even one step further, we have a cost of ownership graph that is automatically generated from your entries that will show what your month-over-month costs look like for this vehicle. This can help me visually identify when my costs are going up and help me flag if something specific needs to be investigated or dug into more. For premium users, the vehicle page is also where we're able to add our warranties. This is a newer feature for our platform where you can add in your warranties to make sure that we're not letting savings on repair costs slip through the cracks. This way, you can keep all your warranty information in a single location and associated with each of your assets in Fleetio. There's also a lot of value in this feature when it comes to work orders, but we'll get there in just a bit. Another recent premium feature that we've added on is the tire management module. We know that having healthy tires is a crucial part of having a healthy fleet. This gives you the ability to keep track of your tire health in the same place as all the other costs and crucial data about the vehicle. You're able to install tires directly from your inventory and add in your tread depth and pressure readings. All of this information will import into the tire activity as well. You can see the installation event here. And any adjustments that I make to the readings will also show up in the tire activity as well. You'll also soon be able to submit these readings directly through our inspection forms in the near future. Let's transition to our preventative maintenance service reminders. We've shown you what this looks like on an individual vehicle. Now let's see what the information looks like for your entire fleet. Preventative maintenance is essential to maintaining a healthy fleet, but without having a centralized source of truth, it can be very difficult to know which vehicles in your fleet are due soon or overdue for maintenance. Right now, I'm looking at all the different service programs in my account. A service program is a way to automatically apply a set of service reminders to a group of assets that all share common preventative maintenance needs on the same recurring schedule. We showed how you can bring in the OEM recommended schedule. I want to highlight that all of these are fully customizable, and you can build your own service program if you like. You can work from a template that Fleetio provides, or use one of the OEM recommended programs that you've imported. The reminders page shows me which of my service reminders are overdue by either a meter-based or a time-based interval, depending on how you approach it in your fleet. Fleetio also gives me an average compliance score, which gives me an idea of how my fleet is doing in terms of getting our service tasks done on time. I can also snooze a given service reminder if, for example, I've already planned to take it into the shop. One more thing that I want to highlight here is watchers. Using the watchers functionality in Fleetio means that you're ensuring that someone or multiple someones within your fleet is going to be reminded when this service reminder is overdue. Next, let's go into our mobile app, Fleetio Go. We understand that fleets are inherently mobile and need to access Fleetio on the go. Many, if not most of your team members, your drivers, operators, and technicians, aren't going to be carrying around a laptop in their vehicle. They're going to have their phones or their tablets with them. So let's walk through what an inspection looks like within the platform. So when your driver is ready to do an inspection, they can go to the barcode that's printed out and on the vehicle, either in the door jamb or on the steering wheel. And this will pull up the vehicle that they're ready to inspect. I'll then select which inspection form that I want to use and get started. The items in the inspection forms are fully customizable, both in terms of the items that you want inspected and the input types. You can see that I added in the odometer here as a number, use yes or no for this question, and then use a pick list for this fuel level. You can either create your own inspection form or work from a pre-made template that we have. You can also provide instructions for your drivers, like this example of how to do the penny test, if you want for your drivers to do an inspection item a certain way. This is especially helpful if you have less experienced drivers who need more specific instruction. So let's say we're inspecting the tire and we notice that there's a nail and the tire is flat. The way that I have this form configured, I'm going to require that the driver take a photo of this failed item so that I can see exactly what's happening and provide some context for my mechanics. So I'm going to take a photo of this tire here. And then I'll add a comment here saying that there's a nail in the tire. And all of this will be included in the form that comes to me as opposed to having to go back and forth over text. They'll then add their signature. And then once I click submit, it's going to confirm that I'm submitting a form with one marked failure. And then a few things are going to happen based on some backend logic that we have set up for this vehicle. First of all, the status of the vehicle is going to change from active to out of service. And then secondly, an issue has been created for this failed tire. We can resolve it either with a service entry from an external shop or with a work order if I have a shop that will be handling this. So let's go and see how this information appears in the form itself. So going back to what a fleet manager would see, instead of my driver having to bring a piece of paper to me or text a picture of the form, all this information is going to land here in my inspection history. I can already see that there's a failed item on my most recent inspection, and Fleetio also has a couple of ways for me to keep a pulse on how my team is doing inspections. You can see the duration of time it takes to complete an inspection in these forms and see that most of my drivers are taking about 15 minutes to do an inspection form. But this person, Sarah, just submitted the form in 2 minutes. That's a lot faster than expected, which tells me she might need some coaching around what a good inspection looks like. When I open up this form that was just submitted, I can also see all of the individual inspection items that were submitted, including the failed item here, along with the photograph. And I can see a map showing where each of the items in question was submitted. Using this, I can confirm that the driver did this in the parking lot before they went on their journey, and I can see where all of the individual inspection items were submitted. If the driver were doing this on the road, for example, which is unsafe, and of course we wouldn't want them doing that, we could see on this map a little breadcrumb trail of submitted items. And finally, I have a link here in the inspection form that will take me to the issue that was created as a result of the failed inspection item. This helps eliminate manual entry and effectively flag to our team that something is wrong with the vehicle. Using the comment functionality on the right-hand side, I can request that the driver take this vehicle into the shop. And then I'm also able to resolve this issue. So if I'm taking this to an external shop, I can leverage Fleetio's maintenance shop integration, or if I'm taking it to our in-house shop, I can open a work order directly from this screen. Within this work order, we can add the work that needs to be completed for this vehicle or piece of equipment. The work order page is highly configurable. We have our status at the top that tells us what stage of the repair process the vehicle is in. I'm going to have mine started open, but this can be customized. I'll add in my key information, like the start time. Let's say we're going to get started on this immediately, since the driver needs this asset today. However, you are also able to schedule out a work order, which means that it will appear on your work order calendar. I'll walk through what this looks like in a moment. I have the ability to assign this to someone, meaning that this person will get notified that this work order has been assigned to them and that they're responsible for it. I can also add labels that either add levels of urgency or pertain to a certain type of service. In this case, I'll add a tire label, since this is specifically a repair on a tire. This also enables you to add filters into reports so that you can see all the repairs that you've done on tires. Here I can see all of the issues that are on this vehicle, which includes the nail in the tire that we added. I have this selected, meaning that when this work order is completed and the repairs are done, this issue is going to resolve. And here's where we can see the warranties that are on our vehicle, as I mentioned earlier. If I click into this, it will bring me all of the warranties that are available on this vehicle, which can effectively serve as a flag to my maintenance team to loop in the team member that's responsible for managing warranty at my company, whether that's someone else in the shop or a warranty administrator. Now we're at our line items. This is where I'm going to add on a tire replacement for my team to complete. I can also add on 4 tires for my inventory, since by happy coincidence, it's about time for these tires to be replaced anyway. By adding these from my inventory and indicating the location, this will also adjust my inventory once this work order is complete to show that there are now 4 fewer tires than there were previously. Fleetio is also going to flag to me what other service reminders are outstanding for this vehicle. I can see that this asset has an oil change that will be due soon along with a brake inspection. I want to reduce the downtime for the vehicle and don't want to have to bring it back into the shop again in a few weeks, so let's take advantage of the time that it's already being serviced and have an oil change added on. And this oil change has a new Fleetio feature applied to it, which we call Enhanced Service Tasks with Parts and Labor. This means that I was able to set up the oil change within Fleetio so that it will automatically add on the required parts, here the oil filter and oil. My shop does a lot of oil changes, so this helps reduce the number of clicks and ensures that the team is adding on the correct parts. I can also add on expected labor so that Fleetio will indicate whether or not this task takes longer or shorter than expected. At the bottom, I'm also able to add on any additional photos or documents that are a part of this work order. I can also tag in relevant team members. For example, if it seemed like one of these repairs could be covered by warranty, I could tag in the team member responsible for warranty here to investigate and start the claims process. If something is covered by warranty, you also have the ability to add on warranty credits here either as a dollar amount or as a percentage. Now we've opened the work order. In terms of adding labor to this work order, we can either add it from the previous screen, or for our premium users, you also have the ability to clock in and out of the work order by using this green button, which is also available within Fleetio Go as well. Let's say instead of starting work immediately, you scheduled this work order to be worked on later. Work orders that have a scheduled start date will exist in your work order calendar. Here, I have a high-level view of what work orders have been scheduled with our shop. I also have a resource scheduler view, which will show me when vehicles are scheduled to be worked on, and when specific technicians are scheduled for a work order as well. This helps me make sure that we're distributing the work correctly, and also helps make sure that I don't book an asset for a job if it's going to be in the shop. Let's talk briefly about our parts and inventory. If you have an in-house shop, keeping track of your inventory is important to ensure that you're well stocked for the repairs and maintenance that your shop performs. Within the parts and inventory module, you're able to track quantities, parts usage, and receive reorder notifications to ensure you always have the right parts on hand to keep your vehicles on the road. I can see the parts data by location. For example, looking at the batteries that I have in my inventory, I can see that I have 209 currently in Birmingham. But let's say that I want to be notified when we get to a certain point so that I'm never out of batteries at that location. I can set a reorder point, let's say 50, and Fleetio will send me an email notification so I can put in a purchase order once we get to that point. We also offer inventory evaluation methods like average cost method, last in, first out, and first in, first out to provide better inventory cost tracking associated with fluctuating parts costs. Let's talk about managing your outsourced maintenance. If you're using an external vendor for your preventative maintenance or repairs, you can use our maintenance shop integration. We have a network of thousands of shops that we partner with, and when you use the maintenance shop integration with one of these shops, you can streamline maintenance approvals, pay for the service on a consolidated bill at the end of the month, and keep all of your service entries within the Fleetio platform. You can easily approve or reject the service items that you want done on your vehicle, removing the back and forth of phone calls or texts, and ultimately reducing the downtime for your vehicles. You can add on all the necessary approvers on your account that can approve repair orders and adjust the notification settings. This helps streamline approvals and ensure that you only get alerted for repairs that truly need your attention. Your drivers can open the shop directory, which is also available on the app, and find a shop that's close to them. The shop will create a repair order within their system, which will then go through an approval process. Depending on how your system is configured, this can either be approved automatically or a notification can be sent to your designated approvers for a manual review and approval. They can approve or reject the service with one click and use the same system to collaborate with the shop on what repairs need to be done, if necessary. Once the service is done at your shop, that bill will go directly to your fleet billing account and the service will be logged in your system as a service entry, which shows you the cost of parts and labor, which records to the vehicle and will surface within your reporting within Fleetio. You also have a shop integration dashboard that serves as a place to service your statements over the last 12 months and a summary of the service that has been done through the shop integration. The maintenance shop integration has many benefits for you as a fleet manager, your company, and your finance team. It will enable you to have fully electronic processing for your external repairs and service. There will be no more manual entry, and everything will be pushed into Fleetio through our integration so that you have automated reporting and can see how much money you're spending on service, specifically what category of service you're spending on, and which vehicles are driving the cost up most. You'll have access to our network of thousands of shops where you can get fine-grained control over the transactions that are happening and the money that you're spending. You'll be able to send clear decision notifications to everyone across the board that's involved in that transaction, and you'll be able to immediately see what service is approved or rejected. You'll have that one consolidated bill at the end of the month to pay so that you're not dealing with individual repair order invoices or driver payments. The shop also gets the added benefit that Fleetio will provide payment within 1 to 2 business days as well. The fuel and charging tracking is an important component within Fleetio since this represents a large cost for fleets. You have your fuel history page, which shows all of the fuel entries, and a charging history page for any electric vehicles within your fleet that shows charging events. Both of the index pages can be filtered and sorted similar to the vehicle page, so you can see the fuel or charging entries only for a specific set of vehicles, such as groups or make and model. There are a few ways to get fuel entries into Fleetio. The first way is via the fuel card integration. The fuel card partners that we're set up with will pull this information automatically into Fleetio and log both onto the vehicle itself and on the fuel history page as fuel entries. Drivers can also log a fuel entry within Fleetio Go. They can start by scanning the vehicle's barcode, which will take them directly to the vehicle page, and then press the green button at the bottom and select Fuel Entry. On this page, they can add in the necessary data about the transaction, such as the number of gallons that were filled up, the cost, and the odometer reading. Fleetio will also detect if the gallons entered here are physically impossible. For example, if the gallons exceed the fuel capacity of the vehicle. And at the bottom, drivers can also add additional data, such as what vendor was used, and upload a picture of the receipt as well. And then once they hit save, this will log to the fuel history for that vehicle. Finally, you can get both your fuel and charging entries into Fleetio via an import. Any data that you're looking to get into Fleetio, you can do via imports, which includes fuel. You would select the import type here, and then you can upload your file into here, which would be uploaded into your fuel or charging history, respectively. All of this enables your data to be tracked in one place and included in the total cost of ownership for your vehicles. Another thing Fleetio does to prevent fuel theft is to send vendor location alerts. If you do have a GPS integration and a fuel card integration, we will be able to flag when the vehicle is outside of a certain radius from where that fuel card was swiped. This is a great way to surface when there might be fuel theft and investigate further. Fleetio has a robust reporting suite that allows you to track and monitor operating costs and other management metrics, including usage and performance. All of the different modules in Fleetio are represented here to ensure you've got all the information you need to make data-driven decisions. All our reports are customizable to help surface the most relevant information. Let's look at the service task summary, which groups our service tasks by the different service categories. What's great about this report is that it automatically categorizes that service, whether outsourced or in-house maintenance, and shows you where your money is going. Many customers use this to drill down into details to see if they're spending a lot of money on, let's say, one specific thing like tires. Maybe that means they need to purchase a different type of tire. There are also many different tools here to filter down on the data to see where your money is going. Another commonly utilized report is the operating cost summary. This is a high-level overview that also includes the details where you can see where your money is going related to service, fuel, and then any other costs incurred on the fleet, such as insurance. I can apply filters and use these filters on the right-hand side to drill down into a specific group, like Birmingham. I can also filter on time frame if, for example, I want to look at last month's costs. If this is a report and view that I regularly want to consume, I can have this scheduled to be sent out to me at regular intervals. Let's give this a name, monthly Birmingham operating costs. And here I can schedule out when this is going to be sent to me. For example, let's say I want to send this to myself at the very first of every month to show me the previous month's expenses. I can then have a PDF or CSV schedule to be sent out to me. I can even see when the next deliveries will be.